I'm Trevor, and in this episode of Somewhere in the Middle, we got to talk Coachella 2026. That's right, the 25th anniversary of Coachella has happened, and I want to talk a bit about the impact of this music festival that's been going on for 25 years, the access that we have to this music festival with things like the live stream, and the payment plan that they've established. So join me as I spend some time talking about my feelings on the music festival that is Coachella. Let's go. Let's start with a little bit of context, some history, right? Coachella started in 1999. Tonight I'm gonna party like it's 1999. And its initial concert, festival weekend, brought in about, 20,000 people. It was a 2-day festival. It cost $100 for a 2-day pass, and it cost $50 for a single day ticket. Today, 2026, I think it was $650 was the average price for a weekend ticket to Coachella, whether you went weekend 1 or weekend 2, about $600, closer to $7 maybe, for general admission or basic, right? No VIP or anything along those lines. And about 750,000 people went. So in 25 years, we went from about 20K to 750,000 people going to Coachella every year. This festival has grown from being a small thing here in the Coachella Valley in California to a worldwide phenomenon. Why am I sharing this with you, the channel? Anyone subscribe to my channel? This channel is me. This channel is about me and Jess and our lives and what we go through. And music is a huge part of my life. Coachella is something that has always drawn my attention. It is created, to use modern terms, or maybe it's old now, FOMO, right? Fear of missing out. Every year I want to go to this thing. And I love that YouTube, the live stream experience, has created this avenue for us to be able to watch and experience Coachella on our own levels. Some of us are very passive and might just have it on. Others might, invite people over and have an entire event just to watch a certain artist. But again, the access that Coachella and YouTube have given us, the ability to watch bands like, this year for me, huge, Blood Orange, Justin Bieber, Turnstile, The Strokes, some of these bands I've seen in concerts, other bands I have not seen in concert, 9 Inch Noise, Somber, right? Bands that, again, this huge amalgamation of bands all together, 3 days, hundreds of bands, right? The access that we get to that is unprecedented. No other festival gives us this kind of access for free. And I think I wanted to share a bit about why I every year decide to enjoy the live stream, both weekend 1 and weekend 2, and why I've yet to ever really pull the trigger, especially in this day and age now with the 2 weekends and the demand that it is today, why I've never pulled the trigger to go myself, right? So let's dig in a little bit deeper. Let's talk about some experience that we had and why this live stream experience is so cool. Exposure, right? Coachella brings the music festival. Coachella brings exposure to so many bands that others might have never heard of before. Obviously, people know who the headliners are, right? They know the Justin Biebers, the Karol G's, the Strokes, the Animas, right? They know the main artists that are performing, the headliners each night, each weekend. It's the smaller bands, the bands that people might not have known that they fall into and see. And for me as well, with this live stream experience that YouTube has offered us, I really, really dig the fact that I get to discover new music at no cost to me, other than perhaps I pay for YouTube Premium and I don't have to have commercials. Quick question, anyone watching YouTube that doesn't pay for commercials, do you get commercial breaks then in this? Because that would just be a nightmare for me. I can't watch a movie with commercial breaks. So watching a concert with commercial breaks seems even more like sacrilegious in that sense.
The power of Christ compels you.
Coachella, sitting at home and watching for 2 weekends new bands. That's pretty incredible. Every year there's always a new artist that I'm exposed to. This year I would say it would be Bunt. Bunt was, my wife and I were waiting on, I think it was Sunday he performed. Sunday we were waiting for a band to go on. I don't exactly remember offhand, but his set was live. We watched it and learned about this artist, a guy I think from Germany, a DJ who's exploded on the scene. I think he got big because of TikTok.
Sunday is the day. You excited for Coachella? Should we do some mosh pits?
But his set was so pure, so raw, so real. So you could feel everyone there with him and just the vibe that was happening in that tent. It was epic. And again, the exposure that Coachella allows us to have, to feel like I'm a part of that crowd, that's unprecedented. I think it is very, very, very awesome. And I love that I can, again, at a time, just send a link to a friend and say, check out this band, bro. They're so good if you have time right now to watch their live. So I think, again, watching that live stream is such an amazing experience that really changes what a lot of us understand for concerts. You know, I mean, to compare, the movie industry wants us to go see movies in a theater rather than just streaming them at home. And the concert industry wants us to go out to a concert. And I feel like for a large majority of people, they watch this Coachella live stream and they want to go. I'm in the minority. I don't end up wanting to go because I'm a little bit older. I have some other issues that I will talk about too of why I wouldn't necessarily want to go. One, let's talk about health. The last festival I went to, we went to the Ohana Festival, right? This is a festival that Eddie Vedder does. And we went to see Pearl Jam. Goose was playing, a band that Jess and I love. Anyways, we wanted to get up close for Pearl Jam. I love Pearl Jam. I've been a fan of them going all the way back. Hell, the first concert thing at Coachella Valley was Pearl Jam back in 1993 on the Empire Polo Grounds. I went to that concert. It was like an FU to Ticketmaster, and Pearl Jam at the time was trying to fight rising concert ticket prices. Anyways, we got as close as we could for Pearl Jam, and in order to get as close as we could, we had to sit through the band that happened before them. And as we were waiting, I think it was the Chicks, it just got tighter and tighter and tighter and tighter and tighter and tighter, and to the point where you couldn't move anymore. And at a certain point, I almost fainted in there because I wasn't able to move and I couldn't really breathe very well. As some of you guys know that are subscribers for a while now, I'm a heart attack survivor. Yeah, so like that alone scares me about going to festivals where it's like standing room only and I'm pressed in up on a thing, and like I don't know how I would do in that regard. I would be in the back all the time. And with YouTube, I get to watch it live up and in person. I get these great camera angles and whatnot. So for me, the videos, the screen, the FOMO that's created by the live stream doesn't really work. It makes me go, oh my God, I don't want to go to that. There's too many people right there. Sure, if I'm watching Turnstile and seeing the pit and the idea of running around in that pit together with other fans sounds amazing. I would love to do that. Or to be right there live as I hear Blood Orange sing, hear Devontae Hines sing, don't get me started. I would love that experience. But the fact that I get to do it from the safety of my home, that I can pause it and go take a bathroom break if I need to and not have to deal with a porta potty, yeah, I like that aspect of the live stream. I really, really, really think the live stream is an awesome, awesome aspect of Coachella, or as some may say, hashtag Couchella. One last thing that I would say about the live stream that I would kind of stress and think that's really important is like props to the teams, the technical teams, the behind the scenes teams that are doing all that coverage. Between the different bands, you have totally different vibes going on the camera checks. Like Dijon's set, we have someone on stage that's moving around and like moving up with the musicians right? During Blood Orange's set, the band is like, there's a drone that's moving around the set and giving us this visual of this circle stage that Blood Orange is on as they perform, right? And then we get the close-ups, the pullbacks, the whole crowd. For Geese, not the same as Goose. Geese, for there was like it's like a 4/3, right? It's not a letterbox, but a traditional square. And it's all like sepia tone, and like they kind of mess with the thing. Dude, each stage, each band has like its own vibe of how they were covering them, and I really want to give props to, again, the team behind that. And also too, a lot of this stuff just disappears. It goes into their archives, right? It's a live stream. We do get concert footage of certain songs, like you saw at the beginning of this episode. I was re-listening to Champagne Coast by Blood Orange. They don't leave those live streams up for us to go back and rewatch and enjoy.
Tell me it's the perfect time. I told you I'll be waiting right from the rainfall. And tell me what's the...
That's a lot of work that people put in that just disappears. And I really appreciate the effort that goes into coverage of these bands. Again, they go out of their way to make us feel, the people at home, like we're there and we're experiencing Coachella as close to as what it would be like in the space. And I think that's just absolutely beautiful.
With your eyes are tired, and I like you. Shut down, turn the radio down.
Let's talk a little bit about watching at Coachella. Again, that's sort of the main focus of this episode, is some impact and feelings about Coachella itself. Watching it, for me, this is like, I plan for these weekends. Both weekends I plan around them, right? It also does depend on the artist. As a father now of 4 kids, my oldest is 25, my youngest is 18. Yeah, Coachella, this whole 25 anniversary, exactly. Like, I raised my kids as this festival group. So there's a whole evolution of these artists. And so depending on the lineup, I'm more interested or not. And I can tell you, last year when we found out that Bieber was headlining, the whole family was like, oh my God, we're locking in on this. So weekend 1, we set up our outdoor movie theater, we got it up, and we watched all the bands we wanted to on Saturday night outside as loud as possible. Sorry, neighbors, not sorry, but we listened to Bieber as loud as we could, and that set went to 1 a.m. in the morning. I don't care. It is what it is. But again, for our family, this was a big event. We planned it, and for me, it was really fun. On Saturday night too, in the lineup realm, we watched Somber, who my son Aiden and I both really like. He's got some great music, great hits right now.
I don't want to talk down on your lover. I don't want to be a heartbreaker. I just know I can be better.
Then we watched The Strokes, right? And my oldest son Caleb, who you guys saw us go see Green Day together in concert in a previous episode. I can remember taking him to preschool listening to Is This It? Is this it? The Strokes' first record, and the little kid in the back seat bobbing his head along to the Strokes, and now we're watching the Strokes as a family 25 years later. David Byrne. So then I get to tell my kids, hey, this is the guy that I liked in the 1980s, blah, blah, blah. This is from Talking Heads, and Burning Down the House, and Psycho Killer, and these songs you've heard your dad playing, but this is the guy.
We got computers, we're tapping phone lines. I know that ain't love.
And then Justin Bieber. What a night.
Coachella.
Oh, I almost forgot. In between all of that, 9 Inch Noise. 9 Inch Nails bringing Boys Noise, EDM group together, and this amalgamation of 9 Inch Nails and these, like, what do you call them? Remixes of their music. really, really cool to see that all together as a family. And again, to be like, we're singing The Strokes, we're singing Nine Inch Nails together, and then we're singing Justin Bieber together. Like, thank you, Coachella and YouTube, for giving my family that ability to share that memory together. It is absolutely unforgettable.
And all the people that be doubting on me, they can't win is my redemption. Now they up on my seat, got them tapping their feet.
Justin Bieber, a little controversial. Supposedly he was paid $10 million. And I saw some people online give some backlash to Justin Bieber. As we watched Weekend One, the first set, and you know, he is this elaborate set. It's just him up on there. The set to me was pretty crazy. It looked kind of like a human skate park. And you could see Bieber just kind of moving around it and finding his groove and finding his way as he sang songs off of Swag 1 and Swag 2, which Swag 1 and Swag 2 are really great records. I absolutely adore them. Again, as a lifelong believer, these albums are some of his best. Let's get to the greatest hits stuff. Everyone said he's gonna play greatest hits. He's gonna play greatest hits. He's gonna play greatest hits. There's like a fake news story on the internet that said that he couldn't play his greatest hits songs. That's why he used YouTube. It's not true. But what I did like about that whole YouTube thing, and I'm gonna use an example. It was like if you've ever brought your girlfriend or your boyfriend home to family, and grandma or mom or grandpa or your uncles share those awkward family photos of you. That's what it felt like to me. Justin Bieber opened himself up and showed things of his youth, things of him growing up in an honest and an open way, and shared it with us, society, in a way, again, that made others feel like we're connected to him.
You forget all the friends that you made with me, 'cause baby, I did. That should be me, holding your hand. That should be me.
Not very many people are that brave to do that. And it showed that Justin Bieber is healing. He's able to go through these things that may have caused a lot of trauma in him in his early life and share it with us in an open way.
This is for the OGs right here.
It's the big, big world.
It's easy to get lost.
It shows that the kid has turned into a man. And to be honest, I wept watching Justin Bieber on stage. I loved that he shared those moments with us. He took whoever was watching his live stream with him on his own emotions. And again, you could see the healing happening on stage as he was singing those songs and going through some of the songs like Butterflies or Daisies, and feeling the crowd and how we all vibe together.
I love spending this time with you guys. Give it up for McGee. Let's go.
Thanks, Justin. I really appreciate you doing that and taking us along. I know you might get some flack for that, but I honestly, it was super interpretational, something I've never seen before. And I thought it was so pure, so raw, so honest. So again, thank you for sharing your life with us, and the good and the bad in that sense. It was pretty epic, and both weekends I just adored going through those greatest hits, singing along with my kids. It was just fantastic.
I'm gonna question first. I'll say what you were, if you let me satisfy.
Let's take a couple beats here and talk a bit about artists that I saw. I think there's something to this whole live stream thing that I want to kind of address. Like Justin Bieber, that's a legacy artist, right? The ability to be able to get to see this guy on that stage, right? Maybe he's going to do a world tour for Swag and I get a chance to see him like that, but that opportunity there, it was just priceless to be in that moment. On the same level, Turnstile, a band that has a huge hardcore presence, but to get into the mainstream and blow up the way they did in the mainstream, that's so special to see other audiences kind of latching on and seeing who is this band and being open to them. Like I learned about Bunt. There were people probably at Coachella that learned about Turnstile for the first time, met their fans and saw how engaged they are. Right? That's amazing. Also, too, again, I mentioned Devontae Hines and Blood Orange. Homie's from New York, very rarely comes to LA. When he does play LA, it's a small venue, and I've never had the access to get in. I've never been on time. I miss a pre-sale, whatever it is, I miss it. So the fact that I got to see Blood Orange and feel like I was live at his show, I can't thank YouTube enough. That was so awesome to be in that event and there watching Blood Orange perform multiple times. Let's mention some of the other bands that really stood out to me as I watched this weekend 1 and weekend 2. I've mentioned 9 Inch Noise. I've mentioned Justin Bieber. I've mentioned the Strokes. Hey Strokes, thanks for giving America a history lesson. You guys, hats off. Opening night or weekend 1, I thought it said Prime. No, it said Crime. Perfect, right? And then weekend 2, Hard History, the history that America wants us to forget or people not to know about. Those are the kind of things that I like to do in my classroom and teach in my classroom because, again, you got to look at the good and the bad of it. So thank you, Strokes, for giving America and the world some history lessons there at the end of your set. That was pretty fierce. Casey Musgraves, huge, dude. She stepped in. Jack White played weekend 1 and then Casey Musgraves played weekend 2. I love both of those artists, totally different vibes, but what a fantastic. I got to share Coachella with my mom in that sense and tell my mom, hey, Casey Musgraves is on, listen. She likes Casey Musgraves. Geese. God damn it, Geese is a great band, and they're challenging. They're not a band that everyone's gonna like, but the more you listen to them, the more like, holy crap, this band is so good. And both weekend 1 and weekend 2, their sets were just freaking incredible fire.
Yo!
Dijon, my boy Dijon. Dijon helped produce part of Justin Bieber's album Swag 1, Swag 2. Dijon and McGee both fall into like the Bon Iver world. I'm a huge Bon Iver fan, Justin Vernon. And like those guys have reminded Justin Vernon of how much music we can make and how it can change and influence and whatnot. And so like, again, I mentioned Swag 1 and Swag 2 as some of my favorite Justin Bieber stuff because of the influence of Dijon, McGee, Bon Iver, Justin Vernon, all of their music like acclimated to create what happens in Bieber's Swag 1 and Swag 2. But Dijon on his own, holy crap, his set was fire. It was so good.
That I feel weak.
Sad was that weekend 2. McGee was not there. I don't know why McGee wasn't there for weekend 2 with Dijon. He was there weekend 1, not there weekend 2. I don't really know what was going on behind the scenes. McGee, as you remember, was in Daisies from weekend 1, but not in Daisies for weekend 2, as somebody that Bieber brought out. I love y'all so much. Last thing, let's talk about state of the industry, music, right? Music in my lifetime has really changed as far as going to concerts. I mean, music itself. Streaming wasn't a thing. We bought records and CDs and tapes, right? We shared that way. We exchanged tapes. We made tapes for each other. Nowadays, I make playlists for other friends. You know, music is a lot different. Buying a record gave the artist more money in their pocket. Streaming the record doesn't really do that. The amount of listens and whatnot, it's just changed. And in that sense, concert going has become one of the ways artists are making more money. And Coachella, again, is a huge, huge, huge moneymaker for the industry, right? People want to go to this thing. It's got the demand. On May 1st, you can pre-sale. You can buy for next year, 2027. You can make payments so that you can go to Coachella. It's smart. My daughter wants to do it when she turns 21, right? Her and her girlfriends, they all go. Might as well wait till you're 21 and have the best time of your life. Today, concerts cost a lot more. And I can see the vibe of why people would want to, for a concert ticket at $695, right? Let's pay it in advance. Let's make monthly payments on that. I'm locked in. I know I'm gonna go. I have a year to wait. I'm all excited about it when it happens. And granted, that also changes the aspect of who's gonna be at the event, right? The day that they drop all the names is like, oh my gosh, type of a thing. It's a really big moment for you, especially because you've already invested money into this thing. So much different from what was when I would line up, spend night, overnight, camp to buy tickets through Ticketmaster. One by one by one, we were all in line. Now everyone's online doing it themselves. I can even remember the days my grandma used to work for May Company in the wrapping department. And the wrapping department, Christmas wrap and wrapping your presents, they also did Ticketmaster. My grandma bought me tickets to see Nirvana on the final tour, the In Utero tour. We saw the last show in LA. Tickets for that concert were $25. At the height of Nirvana, we saw them for $25, right? That's unheard of today.
What?
I mean, concerts have changed. The artist is going to make money off of merch and the concert tickets, not the album, because you're not buying the album anymore. I've kind of gotten back into that habit of artists and albums that I really like. I'm just buying the albums now. I'm buying the record because I want to have the physical media. Thanks for spending some time with me as I talk a little bit about Coachella, its 25th anniversary, ultimately talking a bit about my experience with Coachella. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next episode. Auf Wiedersehen.